Hello and welcome to a TSCAD development update. Today I'm pretty excited to show everybody a couple of new features, specifically fast routes and stacking routes. And we'll talk about both. We're actually going to talk about stacking routes first. I've got a couple of AI trains moving here on my display, and I'm going to go ahead and change the train tags here to show me my train symbols, which can easily be done through a hotkey now. Up here, I've got a Z train, a Z9, who's headed east toward Edwards, and I've got a Barstow to Stockton Manifest, who's headed west, and I've got them set up for a meet at Edwards. So as soon as this meet happens at Edwards, I could be watching diligently so that I can throw the switches and align the signals as soon as the Barstow is in the siding, but I'd rather just have the computer do it for me. So by hitting Control W in TSCAD now, you'll see my cursor actually changes and says stack, and that's an indicator that I'm now in route stack mode. And when I'm in route stack mode, I can't actually click directly on a turnout or a signal. What I can do though is up here at Edwards, I'm going to get ready for this meet. So I'm going to click on the siding. Actually, we'll start with the main. So what I want to do is as soon as this Barstow is in the clear, I want to let that Z train keep going. So I'm going to click on the main, and I'm going to keep him going all the way down here to Silt. You'll notice that the stacked route highlights in green, a lime green color. That's the route that I'm planning to set up. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the other end of that. And now I'm going to do the same thing from the siding so that the Barstow can keep going as soon as its meet with the Z train is complete. And I'm going to have him come out the west end of Edwards out of the siding, and I'm going to click there. At this point, notice that the unaligned routes turn into this dark yellow color, and notice that the signals now get a yellow base instead of a white base. That's an indicator that there are some stacked routes there. And also notice that as the Barstow gets closer to Edwards, behind it there's now a yellow indicator going in the opposite direction. That's an indicator that there's a stacked route on that section of track. I also have down here a light power mover. It's actually a crew move. It's two units and a caboose that are headed west, and they're going to meet the Z train over there at Jim Gray. And waiting behind that is a Barstow to Pasco, and I want him to go into Hinckley. So I'm going to go ahead and stack him up as well. I'm going to click on him, and I'm going to go ahead and click in the hole here at Hinckley. So he's got a stacked route now as well. And I'm going to go ahead and if I had another train behind the one here that for whatever reason was going to continue, it wouldn't probably happen with that Z train there, but let's just say that it was going to happen. I could click on that and I could go ahead and stack another route, maybe all the way down here to Jim Gray. Now you can see that I've got a couple of stacked routes here, but I don't actually want that one. So I'm going to right click on the signal here and I'm going to cancel a stacked route. This is going to bring up a screen asking me, okay, well, which stacked route is the one that you want to go ahead and remove? And of course, the one that I want to do is the one down here at Jim Gray on the main. I don't want that one. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK and cancel that one. And it's going to ask me if I'm sure. And yes, I'm sure. You'll notice that the yellow disappeared down here. So we got rid of that stacked route. Also notice that you could, if you wanted to, you could clear all or cancel all the stacked routes, but of course I don't want to do that right now. So up here at Edwards, it's getting close to the meet. Both trains are headed toward the block there, and then I've got my other train that's moving down here. Now, I'm not actually going to get this guy a light until the train ahead of him clears that switch at Hinckley, because that east switch at Hinckley is a part of the stack. It knows the program knows that it needs to align the train into the siding, and a stacked route will not execute until every piece of the route can execute, so there can't be any conflicts at any point along the route. If I had only stacked this train as far as just east of the east switch following this other train, then right now it would have actually already set up. It would have set up behind him. So we'll go ahead and wait a minute here for this to keep moving along. And while we're doing that, we'll take a look up here under the dispatchers function. You can see fast routes and route stack have both been added with their respective hotkeys. And then of course in train tags, you can now jump straight to a couple of different train tags, or you can use F11, and F11 will just cycle you through. Here we can see the feet. Hit it again and we can see tons or weight. Hit it again, we got horsepower per ton. Hit it again, we've got the crew information, the engineer, one more time, and we have got the time and block. And if we hit it again, we've cycled all the way back around to the lead unit. Incidentally, when you first open up a route, the lead unit or the train symbol will display by default based on the railroad. So BNSF, UP, you will see the lead unit number by default. CSX, Norfolk Southern, Amtrak, you'll see the train symbol by default. And then it's very simple to just hit Control S to jump to the symbol or Control E to jump back to the lead unit, whatever your choice of display is. So we've got this meet that's getting close to happening up here. We'll go ahead and use our mouse wheel and we will scroll in a little bit right here and take a look at that meet as it gets ready to happen. And then after that, we'll talk about fast routes. In fact, while that's setting up, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about fast routes in preparation. And actually, to demonstrate fast routes a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw a couple of turnouts here so that they are actually against my Z train, because I want my Z train to keep moving down the main. So we'll just say that for whatever reason, due to meets, etc., that the east switch at Silt and the west switch at Boron had previously been reversed. So now I'm going to hit Control Q to go into my fast route mode, and note that my cursor changes accordingly, and note that now I can't throw any turnouts directly or align any signals, but what I can do is say, okay, I know I've got this train stacked down here to Silt, and I want to just keep him moving. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the start there, and you can see that our train back there at Hut is getting a signal now. That stack is executed because the train ahead of it cleared that east switch of Hinckley. So the turnouts are throwing, and he's getting lights. Also notice now that I've entered into my fast route mode and I clicked on that block, my cursor is now changed to say exit because it's expecting me to select an exit block for the fast route. If I just click anywhere, it'll disable, go back to selecting again. So we'll click here to select the starting place, and we want to go all the way down here to Jim Gray. And if you see a lime colored route appear, that means that it's allowed. If I go past that, you'll see it's not going to happen. I can't go beyond that because there's a conflict. With fast routes, there can't be any conflicts. But I can go ahead and click on the main track down here at Jim Gray. So by doing that, with the fast route, the switch at East Silt and West Boron are each going to go ahead and throw for the main, and the route's going to set up. So I'll just click that guy, and we'll see those switches throw as well as the routes start to line up. And hopefully at this point, we're getting pretty close to our meet happening down here at Edwards. There's our route now set up all the way from Silt, and there we go. The Z train just cleared the west switch at Edwards, so that Barstow is getting a light out of the west end. And there it goes. We could even do our mouse over here and get our information like always. Hopefully that Barstow is going to clear the east switch at Edwards promptly here so as not to delay the Z train too terribly much. We can take a look at the time and block. All right, that Z train's been sitting in the block for 3.5 minutes while the manifest is trying to clear the east switch. Go back here. There we go. You just cleared the east switch. So now TSCAD is going to go ahead and automatically set up that stacked route, which now has no conflicts, so that that Z train can continue moving to the east. And then down here at Jim Gray, I could switch Control W from fast mode back over to stack mode, and I could do the same thing. I could go ahead and stack that route for that next meet. And we'll click in both locations. So now at Jim Gray, I have stacked a meet between the Z train and my westbound crew move. And I could do the same thing again down here at Hinckley. I could get prepared as far in advance as I wanted to in preparation for that. So that is some of the latest development here in TSCAD. I am planning to move on to track and time and some restrictive track tags and non-restrictive track tags for some of the next things that I plan to tackle, in addition to testing some of this new development with stacked routes and fast routes. So I hope that you have enjoyed this update as always, and I will look forward to bringing you the next update. Until then, do take care. Thank you.